Again, not many heroes beat the Lina in the mid matchup.
Yeah, it's a very stable lane for army geniuses to play with. You don't tend to get bullied out. You could, well, no option for the TA initially banned. That's a hero that could just compensate for a slower lane in the jungle. They do go with the Storm, so they go with the Spirit Brother on the mid. Gives them some great follow through for the RP initiations that can come out on Mag. You've got great control, especially towards the late game. If you have room for the Ags on the Storm, you've got a mini black hole plus the RP. That can be very scary to play up against here on AG's end. Lane wise, Storm versus Lina, it's still Lina favored overall, but the Storm can still kind of play around with Remnant, harass back with the overload charges, and still build up some farm himself, so it shouldn't be too dicey. It's at the level 6. It's a race to 6, as we tend to see in most mids. For who does get that kill opportunity, Lina with Laguna is very scary for your Storm, especially if you don't have your zip up yet. You could just be hammered in. So that's the one thing for SMG there. Otherwise, you can farm jungle just as fine as Alina can. You can still clear creep waves. Not too bad. And the big question now for SMG is, what do they play with the Magnus? Like, we haven't seen many teams go into PA Mag outside of Filipino teams. So I'm wondering if that's something Mid1 will want. There's the option for his Monkey King if he wants that. Monkey King plus Empower is still pretty good, although the hero itself has kind of fallen off. It's just not a very good hero at the moment with the build up. You lost your Ags. Battle Fury is just not very popular at the moment, so you kind of have to go for Maelstrom or Diffusal or SNY and kind of be impactful there after an Echo Saber, which can still work, but I'm just not sure if it's really the way you want to play, because with a mid like Storm, you're already going to have to take some time to build farm on the Storm Spirit. You need some farm in your Magnus, and your Pos one will also need some farm. It can be a bit passive. It really just depends on who they're willing to toss out forward. Now, we have seen Storm players willing to play around with just one item, right? Even just a Kai is enough to sustain a Storm. So I think that's what we'd want to see here from Moon, just the willingness to take initiative after the laning phase with maybe just one item or even just like two nulls is something we've seen Storms do to buy that space out for the rest of the team.
What I'm thinking for Pause 1 for SMG, I mean, it looks like a decent lifestealer game right now. We've been seeing a bit of lifestealer popping up as of late, has been slowly coming back into the meta. That's assuming they don't go for like a Terrorblade or Luna, which both are still available surprisingly for either team right now. But apart from those two, I'd say it's a really nice lifestealer game altogether. Like, you've got the Infest Bomb with the Storm Spirit or the Magnus. The Rage, very, very effective against all the heroes of AG, apart from maybe the Tusk. And of course, lifestealer, the one problem it has is the fact that it doesn't really farm very quickly, but with an Empower there, you've just given him a free farming tool, so he won't have to waste his time trying to figure out how he's going to escalate and farm. He could just go straight for the Armlet into something like an SNY or a Deso, and then you can just move from there for SMG. Kind of where I'm headed, at least, with this kind of draft. Apart from that, again, they could go TB or Luna, which, again, both are still somehow available. We know Mid1's been playing a lot of Luna from the games we've casted, and it is still an extremely strong hero at the moment. You won't really need to maximize the cleave. The bonus damage is more than enough. It looks like the Jug will be removed for AG. They don't want to have to deal with that either. But still, I think if you want something with inbuilt magic immunity, the Lifestealer is still there and it still looks like a pretty good pick.
Yeah, it can work really nicely with what SMG has on hand. They can play pretty quick with a Lifestealer as well, because you have the Empower. You're just going to wait for Armlet, maybe a +1 item, SNY or Maelstrom on top of that, and just get rolling from there.
Never
They go
mind.
with Dusa instead. Like, they go with a big farming hero. And power damage is still good in the Dusa. This is really greedy on SMG's side, though. Magnus, Storm, Dusa, all of them need farm. Someone's going to have to give... I expect, again, Moon to take the initiative there. He's got the inbuilt mobility. He can play and try to gank. Issue is, your ganking supports don't do the best damage. They have decent control, but they're not really the big damage dealers for the Storm to kind of follow through for a rotation. So it might not be easy to kill off some of these heroes on AG's side. They've got saves with a Shadow Demon, saves with a Snowball and the Tusk. They've got a lot of ways to avoid that initiation from SMG, at least until the Magnus RP is ready to go.
Ooh.
And AG, they do close out with the AM. So that's your Medusa answer. Just try to melt down the mana and burst her down with the Mana Void down the line. Also really good against the Storm, of course. He's a walking bomb against the AM. And in this case, SMG does not have good hold for an AM. They have RP, That's really it. I guess the Vortex is there, but AMs tend to react fast enough. Most AM players can just kind of blink out when they see the storm zipping in. So the Orchid might be necessary here for Moon, and then you're going to have the Manta timing. And again, there's still the 2 saving options on Shadow Demon Tusk. So they've got a lot of ways to hold on to this AM, protect him. Keen to see how much AG can do. I think the last time I saw an AM in a pro game was offlane AM from Lil Gun. And that was a very different game, of course, but that was the last time I saw an AM, so I'm keen to see how much DB does get done here.
I think it's a really nice AM game, though. I mean, you already kind of pointed out the fact that it counters both the Storm and the Deucer. Seems like a very, very potent pick. SMG, I mean, they must have had the idea that this AM may come out if they do go the Medusa and Storm Spirit route. They did choose to get a little bit greedy with this Game 2 draft, and we'll see if Army Geniuses are able to punish them for it. Game 1 was quite dominant from SMG. I mean, we talked about Army Geniuses and their draft in Game 1. It did feel like they had the better overall draft, but that just didn't matter because they did get run down once SMG hit their power spikes. The power spikes for SMG, though, certainly a lot later in the game this time around. And you'd kind of argue that AG does have earlier spikes this time, but you are still with an anti-mage who is going to want to go into the late game as well, so it could be one of those longer games. We'll head into game number 2, though, and see who does come out on top between these two. John, do you dare give me a prediction as to who does have the better draft in this game 2?
It's a tricky one to call. I'd still lean towards AG's draft. I think they've got much more aggressive heroes to play as 4 compared to SMG, where their triple combinations of 2 supports plus a core just don't feel amazing. Like Rubik plus Abaddon plus Storm or Magnus don't feel particularly amazing unless they commit something like the RP down the line. So there's a lot more burst potential on AG. They've got better saves. SMG's going to have to try to get space to get that farm going. And I'm worried if say the Storm lane just doesn't pan out, then that means your Storm's also playing catch-up. And he's probably the best hero to not play catch-up. He's the hero that needs to be ready after laning to just run around with a couple of stat items, building into something bigger, buy that space for mid 1, buy that space for KP to get blink at the least, and then run from there. And I think it's just a bit tighter to pull off from SMG and much easier for AG to hit those early game timings.
I was like, we are going to have a bit of a group up here at the top lane. SMG and AG might just want to fight this one out. It does feel like AG, they have this stronger level 1 timing. While Rogi is right behind Moon with the Aphotic Shield just in case, you don't really want to risk it right now. KP, he'll take the bottom runes anyway. It'll be a 2-for-2 trade, very even kind of stuff. SMG, they were posturing like they were going to go for the fight, but again, I think it would have been very dangerous for them into the draft of AG at level 1 at least. I suppose we will have a look at the lanes now. Where top lane, you're going to have LYM and Wommy. They are running that Shadow Demon Brewmaster lane I talked about earlier on in the draft. Still think this is very, very potent here from AG. Though you are going to have Rogi that can purge off a lot of the spells they throw out with the Aphotic Shield. So perhaps you could make the argument that the effectiveness of this duo isn't going to be quite as potent. But if you catch Rogi without the Aphotic Shield available, it can be quite easy to just burst somebody down. Problem is, the Aphotic Shield is a very low cooldown, so chances are Rogi's probably always going to have it.
Yeah, should be able to just buy that space up for mid 1 in the first few waves to kind of get that initial farm going, kind of just cop off these Shadow Poisons out. And, you know, the Shadow Poison does hurt. The Aphotic Shield can block, but there's already that early magic stick on Rogi, so he's not going to be lacking regen lane. He's just going to always be kind of topped up, pop the shield open, run forward, try to keep zoning out. Because of the Aphotic Shield, you might not see that commitment on the Cinderbrew here from Wami, and that just kind of takes away the strength of that duo. So we're going to have to see how Wami compensates. He's just kind of focusing on Drunken Brawler and Thunderclap, so just looking to clear out creeps, not really trade too hard, and Rogi's just doing a good job of throwing his body in between.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. He doesn't waste any skill points on the Cinderbrew, which is what you generally would see with that Shadow Demon duo, but the value's just not there when you're against an Abaddon. Still, mid lane, you've got Moon there against Mamang Daya. This should be a pretty difficult lane here for Moon, I'd say, on the Storm. Thing is, you do have the side camps that you can go and farm, but the thing is, Mamang Daya, he can do the exact same thing on the laner. So it's not like you're going to be able to kind of even out the CS or the net worth between these two just based off those side camps. Because Mamang Daya can do the exact same thing. Not to mention Moon can't leave the lane too long because Mamang Dai can also choose to pressure the tier 1 mid tower quite easily on this with this laner. So I think Moon's in for a pretty rough time. May need some supports to rotate to try and help him out, but you look at the supports of SMG with the Rubik Abaddon, they're not the kind of supports you imagine rotating. Whereas you look at Army Geniuses, at least with this task out, you could certainly just bring UK down to the mid lane and secure a kill onto Moon before that level 6 mark on this Storm.
Yeah, that's where the big difference lies. Like, SMG's supports just aren't very active supports, and that's going to be an issue even after the laning phase. Like, when you might want to make a play, it feels like 2 supports plus 1 core just won't cut it. You might need 2 cores to commit. You might need to throw the RP to find these early ganks, unless you go for a softer target like, say, the AM, but he's getting very quick. The control here on SMG isn't as instantaneous to catch out in the AM, so that's my main concern for SMG. So far, the lane for KP down bot, though, is shaping up well. 13-1 on the Magus' last hits, building up the farm, not really getting zoned out. He is out of mana, but it is a static lane anyway, so he's not looking to really use that to get harassment out. He just wants to clear creeps. He's contesting the pulse, clearing out the camps himself, and it's just tricky for UK to do much to counteract that.
Bottom lane as well, the one lane we haven't really talked about too much. DB, UK, KP, Fu. I mean, they're still going really well here. KP, CS, top of the board right now. DB, he's drained the mana of KP, but it's not going to matter too much. As long as you've got the Empower, you're happy to keep trading harass there with DB. And because until he has the Ring of Health up, he's not going to feel too confident to trade back. Does have the gold for it now, but it's going to be rather tough to actually get to the side shop, or rather secret shop, because side shops don't even exist anymore. But hopefully, you know, the new patch on, you never know, they might bring him back.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe we get some of those old things back. I miss the side shop.
Yeah.
And we've got couriers each, so it kind of makes sense.
No.
Just make you work a little bit more.
No,
don't. Make you work.
No,
Give me opportunities to snipe couriers. I like sniping couriers.
Give me the side shop back. We can keep the couriers, I just want the side shop.
We'll see. Still, the one issue in this lane is that it's a dual melee lane for AM plus Tusk, and it's an AM lane anyway, so you can't really be active. You kind of see UK just get zoned out, forced to salve up. Does make the early TP rotation to secure the 4-minute water rune, so they're gonna be able to throw their bodies forward against Moon and Afu here, and that just means likely double runes coming out for Mamang Daya. LYM also made a rotation to secure the top water rune as well. So no runes coming out here for Moon. His bottle's going to stay empty, and that just means Mamang Daya will be able to apply even more harassment out there.
DB, he's not having the greatest time on this anti-mage. Like 16-0 on an AM doesn't feel quite amazing. I mean, naturally, the hero isn't the best laning kind of carry to have right now, and never really has been, per se. And again, against the mag, you drain all his mana, but he just doesn't really care. He's always going to have enough to use the Empower on himself. And after that, I don't mind if I'm out of mana. As long as I got that bonus damage, I'm more than happy as a Magnus. DB, just going to try and go for the range creep. KP's going to go for an easy deny out. It's one of the other big disadvantages of this lane here for DB is you just can't out-hit KP. You can try to outplay him with the CS, but he's always going to have that bonus damage, and it's going to make it kind of impossible to actually beat him. And with the Soul Ring up, you really can't do anything about it. I mean, KP probably prefers to have 0 mana, just so he takes less damage for this AM.
Yeah, it's the one thing when you're running AM. If the enemy laner has no mana, you don't really do damage early on. And again, it's just down to having a Tusk as your laning partner. Sure, it can be aggressive. It can't be aggressive with an AM. It's a very passive lane. UK can't even zone out Afu successfully, and he's just kind of soaking EXP away without really zoning out the offlaner. So it's just a hard lane overall for AG. You're just going to have to maybe compensate with stacks, build up the jungle a bit more with that Shadow Demon, or maybe get a rotation. LYM, he shows up.
Oh, he's going to get a nice disruption off the setup for the tag team. Doesn't get one yet, but Afu now does get trapped up by the shards. He's still going to try and make a run for this. Shockwave is there. Snowball, though, will be enough in DB. It's a very important first blood. Felt like after this really bad laning stage he's had, he definitely needed that bonus gold, and well, that should definitely help him catch up now. What happened, John? What happened?
I was watching Wami TP in front of a camp. The Centaur stunned right as he TP'd. He was right outside of range of the Centaur stun. Raji got hit right next to him trying to hit Wami.
Right.
Somehow Wami didn't. How does that happen? How?
Oh, John, well, I didn't get to see it, so I can't claim that, it's a beta game, If I got to see it, we could have gone with it, but well, maybe I'll have a look at the replay later on and we'll sort it out. KP? They're running a bit of a trial lane now with Army Geniuses. Like, they got the first blood, which is amazing and all. I still kind of expected UK to maybe make some rotations into the mid lane to try and shut down Moon a bit more. He's level 7 now, so chances are he's probably not going to die unless you can land a stun and then just chain stun him. Overall, it does feel like he's probably going to be just fine. Maybe if you can get the disruption to the Light Strike array into the snowball, it should be enough when you include all the tag team damage, but oh, it looks like Moon's going to have a really nice time now. No real stress for him.
Yeah, he's got some good stacks to clear out as well. He's going to get a nice injection of farm and just build up on the Storm Spirit, hit some of those early stat items to start to maybe think about making some plays in the side lanes while the rest of AG are weak. UK does scout it out, but...
Oh, Moon! Oh, that's a nice dodge! That's a great dodge on the Laguna! And now they could go back in after UK. Still, Moon is dropping low, but can still zip away with the mana he has left. And he's still sticking around to come back in after UK. Raji, he's going to be the first one to drop as now DB even comes in. Gets the mana void off. Moon, he's going to go back in for the kill onto UK. But he knows he can't die. He'll be alright. He'll still get 1 kill for the team. Definitely favorable, though, for the side of Army Geniuses.
And they get a couple of support kills. They did have to drag their AM down. So he misses out in some CS, but it's a free lane now. KP is away as well, not really able to shove the wave out. So you don't really get as much as you'd want on SMG's end. The one thing SMG's getting a ton of space for is that Dusa. Up top, mid one, just solo. No real pressure coming out from Wami. He does have the primal split ready. I think this could be the easier target to go for, but the side of AG are still kind of focused mid. You really want to put a lid on mid one. Like, if you manage to punish the Dusa for being a greedy core, the jungle will kind of constrict once the Dusa's inside. There's not going to be much camps to share between Dusa, Magnus, and Storm. But as long as Dusa has a lane, that's not an issue.
Yeah, certainly not. Mid one, he even just goes back to the jungle, starts stacking for himself now. Pretty standard stuff here for the Medusa. You certainly want to try and get something done about this Medusa, but they might just wait for that mid-game timing. Like, you're probably going to need DB to really ensure you can secure the kill. Unless you have 4 heroes on mid 1, he's probably not going to die. They are at least going to steal some stacks away, and I think that's even better, quite frankly, than actually killing the Medusa. But KP is going to be there to protect. Even gives the Empower over to mid 1 so he can farm a bit more quickly. SMG just really making sure that nobody interferes with mid 1's farm. And I think they understand their draft is a lot greedier than what Army Geniuses has, so they are kind of forced to huddle around the Dusa and make sure nobody can kind of be a bit of a distraction here.
It's paying off quite nicely, though. Like, they got a lot of space out for even Moon to just cut waves and get farm up. They could try to control here.
Moon's been caught out by the disruption, but there's nothing to follow up with that. It feels like the only stuns you really have is the Light Strike array and the Snowball, but the Snowball's, it's like 0.5 of a second. It's not really the greatest stun in the world. Certainly not enough to kill off the Storm, that's for sure. That's why Moon just feels like he's going to have a very free game, assuming he can get the initial farm. And this Orchid timing, it's not going to be the fastest we've ever seen, but it's also not going to be the worst either. I mean, he's probably going to have it in about 2 minutes. Once the Orchid's up, you're definitely sitting very pretty as Moon.
Yeah, that's a scary point for SMG. They're going to have at least one core that can make plays for the team, show up, throw his body forward, get control off. I think AG are sitting a bit too much on their lineup. Like, the Blink's up for KP now as well, so you can look to set up for some big Blink RPs.
Mamang dies here, though. They got a disruption, Light Strike array. It's not going to make it in time. They land the Snowball. It's not going to matter, though. Laguna even thrown out. Shards, it's still just not going to matter. Oh, the disruption. It was about half a second early. Mamang Daya, he wasn't in range. They might get a Rubik kill here onto Arfu, but that's not going to feel anywhere near as good And they'll eventually get him. But that's a 4-hero rotation for that. Just not worth the time here for Army Geniuses.
Yeah, and it's not the kill they're looking for. SMG is very slippery with the Storm Spirit. AG, again, it's down to execution. We saw some of those fumbles in game 1. They need to kind of tighten up the control here. Tighten up how they get their stuns, tighten up the timings of their initiation. Otherwise, you're missing out on some key kills. Despite being 3 kills behind, SMG still holds on to a slight net worth lead. Reduce is still having a great time farming up, already has a Dragonlance. AM still saving up for the battle period. Moon's just bullying him.
It's a lot of damage. Moon's going to try and go for more, but he doesn't want to dive the tier 1 top. Mamang Daya, mid lane, does end up dropping KP. It was a Blink RP that set that up. LYM now not really safe either, as KP is still on the chase and does get the kill. UK, he's going to try and run. Nice shards out, but the skewer is there. KP, he's not going to give up on this. He wants another, and he might just get it too, as there's no way to survive. Fu, he'll take that one on the Rubik. But I love that from KP. He gets a nice early blink, understands what his job is as the offlane mag, and immediately goes for the solo RP onto the mid laner. A very valuable play there for SMG.
Yeah, they managed to, again, deviate from the greed and just buy more space. DB.
Yeah, he's still being terrorized here by Moon. Moon's being very brave on this storm to try and go after the AM, and DB, he just doesn't really feel confident to try and fight back. And I mean, Moon is doing a lot of damage with that level 3 static remnant. You do have to be careful, but now with LYM around, they might try to go for this. In fact, no, Moon, he backs off at the right time. Even with the Arcane Rune, he's not going to be tempted to go back in. But I do like these little kind of plays Moon's making. He's just applying a bit of pressure, slowly just slowing down the farm of DB on this AM. And that is value. In fact, now he has the Orchid up. He could try for the solo pickoff, and he will. Orchid's there. He has no teammates around. Moon should have just barely enough damage. No, the static remnant. Oh, it doesn't connect. And now Mamang Dai is going to try and punish Moon. He goes after the creep wave. Can he react fast enough to this? He will. He'll zip away and he'll be just fine. They don't punish him anyway. And it's another 4-hero rotation that won't amount into a kill.
Yeah, they're just completely missing out on AG's end. Moon's making a ton of space happen by just throwing his body forward, and SMG's just able to keep farming up like this. Like with the downtime in farm, KP's just saving up now for the Midas. He's gonna have it up, and that gives your Magnus a steady source of EXP to keep building up, a steady source of gold as well to keep building up. And their Deuce is still free farming, uncontested. Mid 1 just having the freest game of his life. Yasha up, Sanj not too far off. And that's going to be a hard-hitting Dusa once the full SNY is up. Compared to our AM, who is still just flying out the Battle Fury, it's not enough. Like, your matchup right now, it really hinged on AG playing fast with Lina and playing fast with the Brewmaster split. Because they played a slower game, SMG just works the map a lot faster, and they're not really able to punish. I think for AG's side, they need to start thinking about that mid-tower. They need to start thinking about pickoffs in jungle, get some deep rewards out.
Mid lane. Disruption there. LYM, he's disrupted himself to try and survive, but he ends up going down anyway. I try onto Moon, but again, without stuns, he's a very hard target to catch, and now the Vortex is in. Mamang Daya is going to try and help out with the Yule Scepter. Light Strike Array does land, but Moon, he still gets away. The Stone Gaze, and now the RP. KP's in for the 2-man. Mamang Daya, he's going to drop. They may find Moon, and they do get KP as well. Maybe they can fight back now. DB, he's going to try onto Roger. They'll get a third. And so they even out the team fight. And I'd say in the end, that is going to favor Army Geniuses, and it does. DB, he got a pretty big Mana Void off. I believe it was onto Moon on the Storm Spirit, and that basically just deleted KP, and then Moon right along with it.
Yeah, it's just the one thing with Storm into AM. It's a walking time bomb when you get that Mana Void off on DB, and it's just enough to burst through the side of SMG. It looked impressive at the start. Really good 2-man RP from KP, catching at mid Lina. Not quite enough on the follow-through. And I think it really also boiled down to UK's use of the snowball. He stalled out long enough that the Stone Gaze was an issue. He kind of stalled out the fight. and they managed to get the time there to just come back in mid, defend the tier 1, win the fight. The one thing for AG is that they can't quite look for objectives just yet. They have to go back to farming, try to build up more on their AM. Still needs that Yasha into likely a Manta just to deal with the Orchid. And that's still a ways off, and even with RP down, they know Mana Void's down, they know Split's down. SMG can just go again.
That they are. Your Mana Void is back up now. It's a quite a low cooldown on that anti-mage, so you do have to be a little bit wary. But without the Brewmaster split, I think that'll be the bigger cause of concern as Arfu four-staffs himself forward, maybe just trying to find a lift onto LYM, but doesn't quite get it. There you go, mid-tier 1 tower just going down for free. So one of the things that holds the Brewmaster back is that cooldown on the split. Just a very, very long time at that level 1 mark and even a level 2 mark, but once you have the Aghanim Scepter, it becomes much more manageable. Wami is getting quite close to that point where he will have the Ags up, so he can get quite a bit more aggressive with his team with the 2 charges. But you aren't there yet, so you are going to have to spend some time farming up if you are Wami.
Yeah, there's a bit more patience coming out from AG. The issue is, while you kind of play this patience game, you might get more. Oh,
yeah, UK. Look, it's probably going to be a nice easy kill on the Tusk. I mean, there's not really much to say about this one. He'll try to delay with a snowball. KP, I'll give it a mid one. Even better. You could have given the kill to KP or Arfu, but now it goes to the carry Medusa. So you couldn't be happier if you're SMG.
And I'm getting scared of how fast Midwin's finding his farm. He has the SNY, as mentioned earlier. Now he has the Crystallis. He's just rushing into the Daedalus. He knows he just needs damage to be up front. If he builds up stats, well, he becomes a bit of a walking bomb as well. So you might not want to go all in on the Scotty early on. And just having this presence on Dusa with the Empower, it's going to be pretty scary in the middle of these fights. We do hit that Ags timing for Wami, so he does finish it up, going for the Aeon Disc next on the Brewmaster. And once you do have that Aeon Disc up, you are going to be more protected to use your spells, to use the split in a timely manner. I'm interested to see KP's build. Like, he went Midas, he's just rushing the Ag Shard after Blink. So it's all about the utility, all about the control. And it looks like with RP back up, you're just going to smoke and make a play.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Top lane they go. They know the split's there, and they do have the Ags up with the 2 charges. So Wami, he could certainly set a really nice team fight for his team, unless he gets caught. KB looking for a big RP. Not going to be able to find a target quite yet. SMG, they'll get a bit of farm out of that Radiant Triangle, but that's about it. Looks like they're at least trying to force the Roshan. And even with that Primal split up, you're still fighting into an RP in the Roshan pit, so it is rather difficult and quite a scary fight to try and force here for AG. But I don't think they really have much of a choice. So if SMG gets this Aegis, it's going to be another 5 minutes or so where mid one can farm basically with no contest. They're going to go for the split now. Stonegaze activated by mid one. He's got the Aegis up now and it's too late. SMG, they will back right off. They've got everything they could have asked for. And nobody gets caught. Like I said, John, mid one, that's another 5 minutes of free fire.
Yeah, it's going to be scary for the side of AG to allow that kind of objective to go away. DB still trying to catch up on the AM. And core matchup, mid one is still in the lead by about 1.6k. So he's got a ton more gold to play with. Already has the Demon Edge up, just lacking the recipe for the Daedalus, which is also just about 200 off. So a creep wave or 2 should get that done. And how do you deal with mid one with Daedalus?
Oh, RP! They've got the anti-mage, zip in, Moon. He's got the... Oh, where's the Orchid? Was it counterspell? DB, he'll keep rushing. Snowball is there onto the storm. It looks like they might be able to at least get UK for their trouble. And they will. I suppose DB had the Manta anyway, so the Orchid wasn't really going to do too much. Just not 100% sure where that silence went, that's all.
It went to I think UK. It went on to the Tusk, so they cancelled off the Snowball save. Still not enough. And that's where the AM starts to feel a bit more slippery. It's back to the hold issue for SMG this time, where they need a little bit more. Maybe go play with the lift. They need the RP commitment was good, just the follow-up stunts wasn't quite enough. And this is the point where DB can do a lot more. He still needs some farm to come in, but the Manta alone is already kind of giving more protection. SMG, they still have the Aegis though. They miss out and kill. They don't have RP. It doesn't matter when mid one's this fat, they can just push the tier 2 no problem.
They can.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Down to the bot lane they go, mid one. Just very, very confident with that Aegis and Daedalus up. Hitting a lot harder now. Mamang Daya, he does pick up that BKB, but that leaves him without a BK, or rather, without buyback gold. SMG. Done a bit of chip damage and might just back. Meanwhile, Moon, DB, gonna have a bit of a fight in the mid lane. Moon can't really solo kill him with that Manta up on DB, so he won't bother trying. So the cavalry is coming in here from SMG into that mid lane now. They'll leave the bottom tier 3 and get started on the mid tier 2. Meanwhile, towards the north, Moon being chased by DB, but there's not much they can do about the storm at the moment. Onto mid one, perhaps they could try. It looks like they are still just trying to chase down the backside. Horntoss is there, KB, he doesn't have RP yet, so he will back. Meanwhile, Cyclone is there onto mid one, but they found Rogi. They've got the Abaddon down. A great start of the team fight here for AG, but UK, they're going to drop on the Tusk. They find a bit more. Moon, Dual Scepter up, and he's gone. Nice team fight here for Army Geniuses. It's mid one, up in the air again thanks to Wami. Maybe they can find this Medusa, but she has the Aegis anyway. It's going to be a bit too risky. Looks like they'll let him go. That Horntoss is there. Wami does get caught out. KP, he does have the RP to play with, but he cannot survive. The onslaught there from Among Daya proving to be way too much. Mid one, he's going to keep rushing forward, but he doesn't have any teammates to play with right now. So the likelihood is he probably won't find anything. But a bit of farm, and even then LYM, he's still going to be a little bit annoying here.
Yeah, just holding off on mid one. They kind of ignore him the entire fight, which really gave AG a lot of room to play. They managed to get the initiation they want in backline. They finally get the chain stun off with the Hewels. There's nothing defensive up in the Storm. He is a sitting duck once that combination falls into place. It doesn't stop mid window. I think even Widow's trades out. The Deuce is still a bit too big. Just finds another tier 2.
Oh boy. That's a big one, Moon. He gets caught out on the Storm. Mamang Daya, if he lands that Yule Scepter, just gets the timing right with the Light Strike Array, there's not much Moon can do about it. He doesn't have a BKB up on that Storm. So you can't really just cancel the Light Strike Array by spamming BKB. He is aiming to go for a Lincoln Sphere, and I think the extra value is going to be the fact that you can put it onto mid one. As well as that, of course, the Mana Void is the one thing that Moon is currently very afraid of. But again, without the BKB up, the Yule Scepter connects, you are probably going to die.
Yeah, I think he's kind of fine with that. I mean, it's still not ideal for SMG, but they found a tier 2. They still hold on to the Aegis, but it's only got a few more seconds. So I guess at this point, you'd actually want mid one to die. They still take more on the map in that downtime. And the side of AG, they're just starting to find some tier 1s, like bot tier 1. DB's gonna find it. Fortify will stall out. This should give him the gold to go closer towards that Scotty now on the AM. And that's the point where DB starts to feel a little bit tankier up front. He can start to really just jump in. Maybe you can even start to think about the Dusa as your target now, because she is still a walking mana bomb as well if you can't block in the Storm. So there's a bit of a back and forth there. But SMG, they're going for the tier 2s. They still have their fort. They're going to be able to push out with a fortified creep wave. The push attempt down bot from AG's held back, and now AG lose all their outer towers. Nothing left on the map. Only the high ground remains. And that puts them in a very awkward spot. They can still split push with AM, but you are kind of shrinking your map as to the farm that everyone else can find. Like, Mamang Dai is going to stall out, Wami's going to stall out, and you still kind of need some items up in those heroes.
Yeah, certainly so. Top lane, looks like the push is going to continue from SMG. And mid one, he went back to address the mid lane and make sure the split pushing wouldn't continue. Looks like they aren't going to commit. Back off again. Maybe just wait out the next Roshan here for SMG. Or they could find DB on this anti-mage. KP, he does have the RP up, but they didn't get the vision. Instead, they are going to find the Tusk. UK, he's going to go for a snowball, but there's not really a way out for him. So it's still going to be a nice pick-off. And great timing as well, because now you've got the Eye of Skadi on mid one as Moon. He's going to zip right into that bot lane. He's found a massive target on Wami, but the disruption is going to save the day. And now the RP. KP, he's got 2, but he's got no skewer back. It was on cooldown. Mid one, he got purged up and he's in the Cyclone again. Zwami, he's going to try and rush forward and try to find some targets for himself. Rogi has been caught out, but where's the backup? DB's going to come in. Blink Strike is there. He'll go in onto the borrowed time of Baron. Rogi still just fine, but eventually should drop as now mid one is in the middle of all this and could be in trouble, but they found Mamang Daya. They've got the leaner down. Does he have a buyback? He does. He won't commit yet as Moon also gets caught out on the Storm Spirit. DB waiting to find another target, is going to go into the backside. Meanwhile, mid one does kill off LYM. Arfu's been caught out. DB will kill off the Rubik, but mid one now, he's onto Wami. Snowball's going to be there, back in onto the high ground, but UK, he doesn't make it. Even the Ancients are blocking him off right now. There are going to be some shards there. Rogi, he's going to die back. UK, Warriors Punch is onto KB. He does drop, but he does lose his own life, and now mid one. Stone Gaze out. He's going to try a man fight, but DB might just come in right after the Stone Gaze and get right back to work. And it looks like that is going to be the game plan. Mid one, he's going to keep trying to man fight this one out, but I don't think it's going to work out for him. He'll try to go after Wami, but DB, he is surrounding mid one. No mana left mid one. He's still trying. Maybe he gets lucky. In fact, he was about to win it. Wami, he's going to drop mid one. He just won't die. DB, no mana void. He can't abuse it. He's thinking about jumping back in, but it's too risky. One crit from mid one would have done the job. He won't risk his life to go for the gamble.
Yeah, that's a really risky man fight to take. The aim's just not big in the same way. You don't have that big right click damage coming out. Once the mana is gone, the Deuce has enough HP to kind of just hold steady. Even with mana burn through, still really tanky as well when the mana shield's on. And it just doesn't pan out for AG. SMG managed to split the fight up well. Sure, they lose Moon out early, but Moon's not really the condition here. It's all down to whether or not KP can use RP, and whether or not mid one can just kind of sit back and get some free hits. No one is taking control on the Deuce. The best they can do is Primal Split, Cyclone up, and try to kill everyone else in downtime, but AG can't. They haven't been able to really pin down the big heroes fast enough to start to shift their focus to the Deuce, and that just means mid one just gets so much more. He has all these hits flying out from Split Shot. They can't really stop it.
DB. Mid lane gonna take care of that T1 mid tower. SMG zip through. RP gonna be great from KP. He found 2 targets again. Disruption is gonna save the AM. So DB's gonna be alright. I think that's the one thing. As long as LYM is alive on that Shadow Demon, he is gonna be around to save the day. So you might want to try and have somebody catching him out. The problem is they just don't have the vision. LYM, he's been very good at making sure he's out of vision every single time the initiation does come in from SMG. And obviously it is keeping AG in the game. Well, I say that, DB can reveal himself again. Arfu not going to have a way to break the gap there onto that anti-mage to get the lift off. SMG going to hang around that Roshan pit. They've got another 30 seconds till it does respawn. And of course, Army Geniuses understand they can't afford to let that second Roshan go the way of SMG.
Yeah, they've got to be able to fight in there. Take away the free Ag Shard. Take away the Aegis Cheese. Very valuable for SMG, especially with Adusa. Probably one of the best cheese carriers, because you get so much value from the mana top-up. AG will smoke around. Looks like they might be wondering about Roshan as well.
Oh, they took the region? I thought they were going to try and bait with it. Arfu saw that. So now they know the smoke's there. AG. I mean, Roshan's up, but they know they've got to get at least a pick off before they could try to force it. It's way too risky to try and go for without at least one hero dying. KP's now got the Aether Lens up, so that Horn Toss is going to be a little bit easier to land for him. Mind you, RP 15 seconds away from being off cooldown. But they'll notice Roshan hasn't really been started anyway. So SMG, while they have committed a smoke, it's not going to lead to too much. They might try to force the fight. They are slowly wrapping around the long way. Of course, Army Genius is well and truly aware that they might be going for that smoke attempt, and they'll back off within safety.
Yeah, I think SMG can wait. They've almost got the Ags up on Moon, so AoE Vortex is going to be there. It's just more control, more ways to lock in that AM lock in the back line, and that's just gonna give him more ways for SMG to take these fights. I think that's something AG is gonna have to watch out
Oh, mid
for.
one. He's gonna go in. DB. Nice counter spell. Mid one just really wanted that vortex. And you saw how much damage DB was taking just within those 2 seconds or so. But he does manage to get the counter spell in time and back the hell out.
Just quick fingers. Again, very tricky for the Storm at this point to get the initiation for his team on the AM. But I think with AoE Vortex, that actually simplifies the process. Because you can't counterspell that back. It's not a targeted spell. So they could just play with that. Gold is almost up there for Moon. Career's on standby in the secret shop. Still wrapping around though.
Yeah, top lane. They're going to find UK on the Tusk. It's been the common denominator here is UK is the kill that SMG can easily get for themselves. He has been the hero that just continues to go for those dangerous kind of push points.
Is under attack.
And now you've got a big Ags up on Moon. Suddenly that counterspell won't be able to block out that Vortex any longer. Meanwhile, Mamangtaya, he almost dies here to mid one. In fact, he might still be dead. The Eye of Skadi slow is going to make the Aeon Disc pop. Meanwhile, KP, oh, he just avoids the blink in from DB, gets a nice skewer onto LYM as well. Pump fakes the RP. Of course, he's never going to throw it out, but DB's jumped in now. He drains all the mana of KP and does secure the kills. Mid one has got onto work. Wami already committed that primal split, does have another and will commit as well as they go in for Arfu. And mid one's the only one left on the Medusa now. Light Strike Array is there. Moon gonna zip in with that AoE Vortex catching out too, but is it gonna matter? Stone Gaze is there as well. They need mid one to get out safely. And he's gonna try and blink out with the Swift Blink, and looks like he might just make it. DB, however, is still on the chase, still has the Mana Void, and he's gonna try and go after mid one. He could go after Moon and almost gets him and does. The stun is long enough. It's mid one. He's gonna blink away again. DB gonna continue this chase. He does have the Abyssal Blade, but probably wouldn't really be able to blink into range for it anyway. And now they can get something even better than mid one's life. They can get that second Roshan.
Just a really messy fight coming out from SMG. They didn't find that big RP potential. The use of that AoE Vortex, well, there were a couple of BKBs running when Moon did jump in. And now the second Rosh is going the way of AG. So to get Aegis, they get Cheese. They get the free Ag Shard here as well. Though mid one?
Yeah, he just jumped in. He's going to try and force the fight. I'm not sure about this, but he's going to try as the RP now comes out. They've got the anti-mage. Mamangtaya, he's the one to drop first DB. He won't go down. Mid one, he's onto Wami now, and Wami's got no exit. He'll try to take down KP with him, and he does. As now mid one, he's just out of control. He'll go for a triple kill. Where the hell did that come from? They just rushed in.
Yeah, that was very confident from SMG, but I think they realized it was a really good tight spot. They could make great work with the RP. Managed to really put a big dent on AG after that nice win. I mean, still having this Aegis up on DB complicates the game for SMG a bit more, but you can see just how far ahead mid one is. 29k net worth, 5k above the AM, saving up for the Ags into the Ags Blessing. So he's just wanting that free slot. And once you do have the Ags up with a Mystic Snake Stone form, that is just not going to be very fun for AG. Even after the nerfs, that Ags is still very, very strong. AM, of course, probably still going to get hit. You're never going to first target it on AM because counterspell is there. But once it bounces onto DB, the follow-up damage from SMG should be able to make short work of the AM. So mid one should be able to get that done for his team. Army Geniuses, they're not out of it yet. You know, having that Aegis on DB does mean they can push aggressively. We've seen moments where SMG's initiation doesn't pan out. It's just down to AG having to find those moments, find those cracks in the armor of SMG, really blow them wide open. When they don't manage to get the RP off from SMG, that's when things get dicey. Like, they do rely on that control from KP and then the follow-through from Moon to get the chain control off, because their two supports really don't control all too well. And as long as KP doesn't find him clumped up, the team fights are actually very hard for SMG to kind of posture around.
That they are. So I think with that Aghanim Scepter coming out very soon now for mid one, things are going to get a lot more complicated. Like there's so many things to look out for. AoE Vortex, the RP, the Mystic Snake, any spells, the Rubik stills. Like, it's getting very scary now for AG. You saw how fast Mamang Daya just melted in that last team fight to the damage of mid one. It just didn't even look like he was there for 2 seconds. He was just gone instantly. Obviously, they were caught off by surprise, but a bit of drawing going on apparently on the minimap as well. I'm not sure who they're trying to draw. It won't matter though, it's gone now. But what I'm trying to say though is these fights have gotten a lot more frightening for Army Geniuses. Like, there's just too many spells to watch out for. Especially if you're DB. Naturally, he is quite tanky on the anti-mage anyway, so he might not die through those spells. I don't know, you don't want to risk it as Moon. He's going to zip right in, gets a nice vortex onto UK. So again, it's going to be the Tusk that ends up dropping. At least they do manage to get DB out of there safe and sound. But now you do have that Aghanim Scepter up. So again, things do become more complicated if you are Army Geniuses.
No, it just gets pretty scary having to worry about the Mystic Snake on top of everything else as well.
He blinked in. Arfu, he can't believe it. He'll go for a lift up. Vortex is not there, but they got the RP off. KP will lock him down. Moon is not even required. He'll wait for the Vortex right after this Aegis. Can he time it? Yeah, he can. Do they have the lockdown, though? With the Stone Gaze they just made, it looks like they do.
Oh, my.
Arfu, he couldn't believe it. Tips out to DB. A very aggressive kind of blink into the high ground without vision there from DB, and he may have just thought SMG were on the other side of the map, but unfortunately for DB, that was not the case.
And that's going to open up the high ground push. Look for the buyback force on the AM. Without that Aegis up, he's going to be a lot less secure in the middle of these fights. Now, there's no RP for a bit longer, but...
Oh, nice skewer back. KP with the Horn Toss, getting that primary target they really want. This is really the only save they've got. LYM, he's going to drop, and I say only, UK is the secondary save they do have available. Luckily, he won't die for Army Geniuses. And with the buyback forced out of DB, SMG, they may have seen enough. Or maybe not. Because they've got the disruption there on Arfu now, so they can start abusing the Medusa illusions to push in this T3 tower. Those Brewlings, they're not lasting very long right now. Wami, he'll have to go for another primal split. And he will get it off. We'll have a gander, see who we can find in the tree line, but my goodness, that Storm Brewling just melts. As they go back in for the mid-racks, Wami trying to micro those Brewlings right now. Moon going to come in, but the Vortex will do absolutely nothing through the BKB, and now they jump in with DB and they blow Moon up. They've got the Storm. Arfu, lift is there onto Wami, but he has the Aeon Disc. KP, however, a nice Horn Toss skewer back. He's got the Brewmaster, and that'll be Wami down. He'll have buyback, but he has no ulti anyway. There is probably no point in buying back without Primal Split. DB is going to try, drain the mana of mid one, but mid one will just start fighting back. DB, Mana Void is there, but it's just not going to be enough. Arfu, Disruption as well. Going to save as now KP's in. He got the RP, but can they get the damage out in time? DB, no. He's going to be fine with the cheese. He'll get himself out. But SMG still getting very aggressive here as mid one. He'll blink right in. Ghost Scepter is going to save the life of LYM. But SMG, they're not done. They want that bot tier 3. The only issue is they don't have the creep wave with them. So it looks like they'll let this one go for now as DB and Army Geniuses are going to try and rush forward, but Mamang Daya copying so much damage already, and now the stone is there on DB. Another Mana Void out. Do they have the damage? Laguna is there. The 4-staff mid one. He just won't die. Now the snowball's in. Maybe they will have enough and they'll get him. Army Geniuses, they do get the big Medusa. They'll try to capitalize off everyone else. Rogi, he's going to get caught out before he can get the TP off. And he will die. The AG, they lose one lane of barracks. But that is all they're going to lose. And they do find some big pickoffs in return.
Yeah, you get some nice kills their way. SMG, I mean, they still find racks. So they've got a lane that's constantly shoving in. Up against an AM, it doesn't feel like that's going to be a major issue at all for the side of AG. And I love the way DB's building. He's going into the shotgun build. Ethereal Blade coming out soon. So he's got a way to amp up the Mana Void and just kind of play around that. Because Moon still has no defensive items. He's stalled out, saving up for this Lotus. For the Lincolns, it's not quite there yet. So once you can You can kind of commit that onto the Storm, commit it onto the Medusa. Just amp up the damage and blow them up. They have a lot of mana. We've seen the AM just rip right through them. It's also really good disarm as well in case things get dicey for DB. And off the back of that, they just take a tier 2. They could think about high ground. Respawns are short though. There is a double damage rune on the bottom rune spot. They could just dip back for and just go from there.
They could, John. First they'll go back for those tier 4 items now. Army Geniuses. They haven't been really allowed to leave the base for quite a while, so they'll take the time while they can. Bottom tier 2 to drop. You've got the Ethereal Blade up now on DB. You've also got the Refresher Orb on Wami, so he's got multiple charges of the Primal Split. Essentially just never really able to run out in the next team fight. And they're going to go for a smoke. I mean, if they can win this team fight, they could try to force high ground, but it's a smoke-on-smoke scenario on Rogi. KB, no, he won't commit the RP. It's not going to be wasted as the zip in. Moon going to try and force out the counter spell and blink away. Does get it. Mid one, he's been purged up. That's the big target they want. However, they are also going to the backside here. AG trying to find those supports. They find them. Not quite. They'll go after Rogi, but he's still fine. Mid one, he'll get to work, but everybody's just running away as Wami will back off as well. Horn toss though, KB. He'll bring him right back into the team fight. And now the RP, but the A on disc. He's going to purge it off. The Vortex is there. Can they burst him down in time? Wami, no. He'll get the Primal Split off. And mid one, he's surrounded. Light Strike Array is there. They're draining all the mana. The Stone Gaze is going to make it in time. He's going to try and go for the man fight. Can he get it off? The Stone's there, DB. He'll get the shotgun. He'll get the Mana Void. He'll kill off mid one. But now the Vortex. Moon will try to fight back. Disruption there from LYM. He'll buy a bit of time. DB, he will be able to blink out as mid one. He committed the buyback, but all he's probably going to get is the Tusk. As Wami, he'll keep the fight going here onto Arfu. But he might need to back off himself. His Brewlings are getting rather low. Looks like he should be okay. Arfu is trying to chase Wami. He'll be within the fog. They can't see him for the lift up. And I'd call that another successful team fight here for Army Geniuses. You forced the buyback from mid one and he really just found nothing for it.
Yeah, they managed to really get the angles right this time. They just constantly isolate mid one. A lot of disruptions, a lot of cyclones coming through from a Brewmaster as well. And as long as the Medusa doesn't get to hit, as long as she gets isolated away, it becomes very awkward for SMG. And again, we saw KP couldn't really commit the big RPs that they are starting to need here. The Aeon Discs are just breaking off that initiation now, coming out from SMG. And AG now are kind of able to play catch-up. 10k lead still pretty big for SMG, but we're at 42 minutes in. It's not as bad. Your AM still within 4k gold of the Dusa. Everyone else kind of relatively even. The farm between Moom and Mamangdaya, KP and Wami. So everyone's actually getting a trickle farm in. And it's starting to feel like all the utility on the side of AG is just having more impact here.
Roshan's going to be up in 35 seconds. That'll be the third Roshan of the game now, so extremely important for either side to be able to pick that one up. Army Geniuses, they are still 11k behind, but they are putting up a great fight against SMG in this game too. And if they could get that next Roshan, their chances of winning this game and making a comeback could just skyrocket. SMG, of course, don't want to allow that to happen. And you don't really want to gamble either with the Refresher Order or the Ags Blessing, as both teams could really abuse that Refresher, Shard, or the Ags. Either way, it's really good for both sides. Roshan, it's going to have the Axe Blessing on. Very nice.
Yep, that could be pretty darn big on a couple of heroes. I guess the Lina will get some scaling with Laguna Blade into Pure, and then you could just get the Ag Shard from there. We haven't seen that in a bit. You could go for a Walrus Kick on Tusk, but we have seen that work against teams. So maybe not the call, since you're still lacking the blink there for UK. I guess the Demonic Purge charges are good on LYM if you manage to secure it. For SMG, you're still lacking Ags on, of course, the Rubik, not priority, but decreased cooldown and spell steal could be pretty menacing in the middle of these team fights. And Afu will just be able to keep grabbing up disruption, grabbing up the big spells, get the control off. If the Rubik actually does manage to land some of those teamfight spells, it can shape up badly for AG. That's the only part SMG falls flat on.
We're gonna start the
solely
Roshan.
relying on RP and Vortex.
Roshan's dropping very quick here. Primal Split. Gonna be forced out. Wami gonna try and rush in. Horn Toss is there. They got UK on the Tusk, but the Cyclone is out on mid one. So all your damage is missing right now. He'll get out of it though. DB into the backside. Does go after Rogi. Moon, nice Vortex. He's found all the Brewlings plus the AM and the Tusk, and they kill off UK. He'll commit the buyback by mid one. He's on a DB now. The Aeon Disc gonna buy some time as they keep trying to search for that anti-mage. Wami, he'll go for another split. KB, he missed the skewer. Meanwhile, the Roshan though, Mamang Daya, he's getting to work. Lift up. They found the AM again. The RP's there, but the disruption is going to save from LYM. He'll buy more time, and now the Vortex, but the Ghost Scepter again not going to be able to get DB. He'll jump out. He'll get a reset going on that anti-mage. It's now KB. He's going to drop on the Magnus. Onto mid one. Oh, the Light Strike. It doesn't land. Arfu could be in a spot of danger and does get caught. Army Geniuses, it's a 4v5 scenario for them. They will go back into the Roshan pit, and they're going to get away with it. Everything will go their way.
Immortality.
Very bad news here for SMG.
It looked good. The RP was on point from KP. They just don't have enough to burst down the AM. Way too many saving items now on DB. The Aeon Disc, very smart buy for him. So it's just giving him enough time to reposition, to use the Ethereal Blade if he needs to save himself, and to kind of cause SMG to think twice about what targets they're prioritizing in that window. They also give the Ags out to DB, so he's got a Blink Illusion now. And that could be pretty nice. The Blink Fragment can just help you chip away at the Dusa, helps you chip away at the Storm as well. And that could be pretty darn annoying. Like, it just holds off on a lot of how SMG wants to take these fights. They find a tier 2 top, they're going to look to pressure and trade. SMG still lined up bot though. They could look for maybe a tower trade. We'll see who folds in this game of chicken.
AG's taking it very quick. Looks like SMG, they're not going to stop either. They're going to commit. Could have a bit of a base race scenario. And in some way, I think this does favor SMG because they're the one without the Aegis. So they don't really want to go for a fight right now, but the Cyclone is going to be there. Wami going to hold mid one in place for a bit. Still mid one. He's out of it now. Back in onto the racks they go. That top racks is still also being taken as we speak. DB, he's got it. He's going for the mid racks now. It is going to be an old-fashioned base races mid one. He does kill off LYM. There goes UK as well. He's getting heroes, but DB's getting buildings. But it looks like DB is backing towards the base right now. He doesn't have a TP. He's going to do it the old-fashioned way. He's blinking down to mid one. Mamang Dai is trying to catch out this Medusa. DB is going to cut him off mid one. He's going to blink down towards the south. Aeon Disc, Songaze all being popped. That is just going to be an illusion going the way of mid one as Mamang Daya is not safe. KP, he's going to cut him off, but DB's there. No, the RP's out. KP, he's going to make sure they catch that anti-mage with the Vortex and the Horn Toss out. Is it enough? DB, he is still safe as he goes back onto Moon. He wants a big Mana Void. He won't get it though. He'll hold on to it for now. There's mid one. As the high ground, going to keep getting to work. DB, he'll throw another illusion in. Mid one, he'll just keep up the good work. But Wami is going to go for the primal split back. Moon there with the Vortex. DB still not blinking in. Now he does. Mana Void is available. He won't pop it yet. He won't need it, in fact. Now holding it for mid one. He's on the cliff. Uh-oh. DB will be blinked down towards the low ground now. They've almost lost Mamang Daya, but he's going to cheese up and be just fine as mid one's surrounded by Moon. He's there with a 3-man Vortex. Maybe that's the turnaround now. They've lost the Aegis on DB. LYM's gone as well. There's no buybacks left on the side of Army Geniuses. Mana Void's there. DB, he will get KP at least, but it's him and Wami versus the world now. Arfu going to back off Moon. He'll hold them down with the Vortex. DB back into the back lines onto Arfu. Mid one, he'll focus down the Brewmaster, but a blink away is going to be there as DB still trying to fight. Aeon Disc going to proc, but now the Nullifier and the Silence holds him down. Or does it? The blink is there again. UK has respawned and will jump back in. Or maybe not. It's just going to be the AM illusion. But DB, he's thinking about it. Uh-oh, we have a Divine. Mid one, he's seen enough. He's got the Divine up. He has not really been dying, John. He's 22-2-6 right now. In fact, 10 more kills and we'd have a 3-2-2 kill score on mid one. But we'll have to see if he gets there.
Yeah, that's going to be toughy to break through. Mid one can just melt through these objectives. So they've got 2 objectives up, 2 sets of lanes up compared to the side of AG. Top lane was being shoved in. They're forced to bring the Storm back, although DB.
DB trying to go after Rogi. He needs to get the supports first. You can't just go after the Medusa straight off the bat, but look at the damage.
Oh my god.
With that Divine and Daedalus, you can't man-fight mid one as Wami. He's going to try and run away with the Drunken Brawler. Those T4 towers are just going to melt to the Medusa damage at the moment. There goes one. Mid one, a man of business, will go straight for the second. It's not going to be too hard, but Wami now going to jump in. There you go onto Moon as well, but Moon's going to survive as the Vortex comes out. Mana Void, it's not going to be enough. Moon, he'll get out of there scot-free as DB. He's going to blink, but Moon, he keeps juking him out. They've got the AM down. DB does have the buyback though, will commit immediately as Wami will keep up the work onto Rogi, but there's your borrowed timeout. Wami, he only has one Bruling left. He'll go back to the main form, but needs to get out of there. DB back in on Rogi. We'll get the Abaddon, and now mid one. He's quite low. Can they take him down? He still has plenty of mana though. Wami, he's gonna die, but he'll commit the buyback as DB still just trying to juke and jive around this Medusa. Mamang Daya though is back. They'd love a Divine Rapier right now. Light Striker is gonna land, but Moon again in the back line's got a big Vortex off. Wami, he's gonna melt. He got the Brewmaster. No, the Primal Split is not there in time. They're gonna melt. Mamang Daya, he's gone as well. DB, he's still trying, but it's only him left. It's an anti-mage versus 4. The game looks to be very over here as SMG. They'll just get right to the Ancient. DB, I mean, you can try your heart out, sir. He's going to get Rogi. RP's going to be juked out by the Manta, but what else can you do when the Vortex is there with the Nullifier and the Horn Toss? It's a full team wipe in SMG. After a very entertaining game 2, they dropped the loser sticker as well. Oh, the humility is UK. Will be another casualty. LYM, he just disconnects. He's not happy. But SMG, they'll be very happy as they get a 2-0 victory. Army Geniuses, unfortunately, will be forced to leave the Pro Series Season 7.
Yeah, very strong showing from SMG. They showed up. Historically, again, they have beat out Army Geniuses 2-0 quite a number of times. AG just not quite able to overcome that obstacle in the form of SMG. They come out with a very different draft in Game 2. They have this DBAM that went off to a slower start, but really built up, started to get the Mana Void bombs off on the Storm and Medusa. And once that Abyssal was up, it looked like he had a lot of room to run around. He even had the Aeondas for protection. It just wasn't enough. AG make a couple of small mistakes in the fights again. DB getting caught out in the jungle after the Roshan was pretty much the big one, where suddenly that swing around for AG just swang back to SMG. And they just allowed mid one to really AFK farm. Like, they ignore him on the Dusa. They didn't punish that greed in this lineup. They got farm on all the cores that needed farm on SMG to hit a viable point in the game. And AG, again, they kind of just took too much time with their own burst, got punished for it. SMG, they play spectacularly well. Very well-deserved win for them.
Oh, it certainly is, John. Army Geniuses, I mean, you got to give props to them. Like, DB, he was doing so much work on that anti-mage. He actually ended up 19-3-10 in terms of kill score on that anti-mage, but just not enough. I like the creativity with his item build there with the Ethereal Blade as well and the Aeon Disc at the end. But mid one, I mean, 29-2-7 is the kill score from our Medusa. He was 3 kills away from getting the 3-2-2 score. Could you believe that, Jonathan? So close yet so far, unfortunately. I believe, by the way, we are meant to have an interview coming up. Yep. I'm not 100% sure if the teams do remember that there's meant to be an interview. Do they, John? Do you see somebody? Are we waiting for someone?
We are supposed to have Roger.
He's
supposed to come in, and we should just be able to drag him out.
Hold on.
Oh, there he is.
Roger?
Yeah.
Is it Roger or Rogi? Have we been pronouncing it wrong the whole time?
It's Rogi. Zexerus got it wrong.
Okay. The admin got it wrong. Right. I didn't want to be wrong if we brought him in, John, and I start saying Rogi and his name's Roger. All right, we'll bring him in. Hello, Rogi. Welcome. Congratulations on your victory, sir. Straight off the bat, how are you feeling after that 2-0?
Feeling good.
Very good.
Great.
Very, very good to hear, Roger. I want to take it straight to the roster of SMG. Recently, there's been some changes to the roster. Obviously, at the start of Pro Series, it was a bit rough. It was a bit back and forth for SMG, but now going into the playoffs and even the latter stages of the group stages, you guys have been looking fantastic. Well, what's the main factor that changed everything for SMG going into this tournament?
The first day when we played the tournament, we were just after a break, so like we didn't really warm up, I guess.
Right.
And then so that was a main reason. And then we lost against GXR 2-0, then like we probably like bettered the next 2 games after that.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Fair
Hmm.
enough. I've got a question. I believe you can correct me here. Are you all still in Singapore in a boot camp together? Is the entire team still together there, or has it kind of split up now?
No, we are in boot camp, but we are not in Singapore. We are in Malaysia.
Oh, right. Sorry about that. How has it felt like for the roster since coming together there? I know you guys were there since TI qualifiers. Do you guys feel very comfy with each other now? Because we've seen a constant improvement in the team since it was made, and I'm wondering how much of that is just from everyone getting along with each other a lot more.
Yeah, we actually feel. I mean, the word we use is gay. We are gay with each other. Togetherness.
We get that.
Nothing
You
wrong
get
with
that.
that.
You get that, Mike, right? Yeah.
So the idea is the more gay you are, the more you win, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Nothing wrong with loving the boys. Nothing wrong with that at all. Roger, I'll ask as well. I mean, I've been noticing, some cheeky stickers being placed at the end of the games. As you guys have been a little bit more active with the sticker game and the voice lines. Is there an air of, I wouldn't call it arrogance, but are you guys trying to prove a point? Are you trying to say that you guys are better than the other teams that you're up against? When you do win out these games in such a confident fashion?
The sticker is just mainly for fun. There's no
Just
like
fun.
arrogance or anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
just having fun.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Moving into it, I suppose your next opponent is either going to be Execration or Fnatic by the looks of it. Do you have a preference?
No preference. I mean, we want to go all the way, so it doesn't matter who we will go against.
Love it. Love the attitude, Roger. We'll let you go. We've got to get into the next series. But sorry, John, did you have any other questions before we let
Yeah,
you
I have
go?
one important question because I've
Okay.
been seeing this in chat a couple of times. Everyone seems to have a word about a favorite cold drink. I've seen some people say ice limao, some people say dawet. Do you have any preferred cold drink to beat the summer heat here, Raji?
The ice, I guess.
Pepping? Yeah, fair
Yeah,
enough.
taping. Hmm.
Yeah, there you go. All right, safe choice. Congratulations.
Yep.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Do you have a good night ahead, Roger? And hopefully you'll be watching the next series. And good luck with your next series coming up.
Okay.
Thank you. That was the lovely Roger. Very well spoken he is. Nice to see that the side of... I mean, he used the word gay, 2021, it's cool, you know what I mean? Like, it's
Yes,
cool
of
to
course.
say that. They just love each other, basically, is what he's trying to say. Nobody take his wording the wrong way, please. They just mean that they're in love with each other as a team. It's very good to see. I think as a team, you've got to love each other, right? Like, you've got to feel that way. Otherwise, you're just not going to have the coordination, the chemistry that you need to win these tournaments. And it's good to see SMG really melding together.
Yeah, like that time in the boot camp together definitely helped. They've been together for a while, and I've been watching their journey on Facebook and Twitter. They do a lot of stuff together. It's kind of cute to watch. So it's
Yeah.
good to see that chemistry builds up, and we've seen that with a lot of teams. The foundation is always that chemistry getting along, and SMG, well, they're getting along together a lot better. They move on. We'll just have to see if it can carry through.
Absolutely. We are going to move into our next series, of course, OB Neon against Motivate Trust. I believe it is going to be roughly 10 to 15 minutes worth of a wait. Maybe a bit shorter considering we did just do the interview for roughly 5 minutes. So, maybe 5-10 minutes. I'll try to update the timer once we do have an exact time. Till then, though, it is MLP Dota and the lovely johnxfire, and we're going to be right back after that short break to see how our next series between OB Neon and Motivate Trust goes. We'll see you then.